Film/crew review Terminator, not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. The sixth one, Dark
7.
Fate.
Boom.
7? Oh, okay. Well, including the TV series, you are correct.
Well, but not including the live stage performance that they did.
Terminator Dark Fate, more like Terminator Mistake. Am I right, boys?
Hey, there he is.
There's the one we know and love.
Hey team, Angus Strachan here, and welcome to the
Film Slice Podcast.
Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Kane Diggly Wiggly Kane Dogs.
Thank you.
The man formerly known as Bro Diddly Doo Broadman Riches. This week, he is known as...
Bear or Honor.
Alright, this week we are reviewing Terminator Dark Fate.
Dark Fate, yes.
Sixth one, not including...
The TV series.
Ugh. So
And
there you go.
they did a live show, and
A musical. A Terminator musical?
it wasn't a musical, but it was like a show. It was no good.
Cool. Alright, Kane Dogs, whip out that IMDb summary for us.
I absolutely will. Okay. Sarah Connor and a hybrid cyborg human must protect a young girl from a newly modified liquid Terminator from the future.
Now, is that the IMDb for this one, or for...
That's
The second
that's all
or
of
the
them.
third
Yeah,
one?
literally all of them.
What about the fifth one?
Yep.
I think it's...
Yeah.
It's pretty much all of them.
Sweet.
Yeah, right.
All right, when did you see the movie? What did you think?
When did you see the movie? What did you think? Do you like the movie? None of the shit.
All right, bro, hit it.
I saw this morning in the new...
Not,
bit
are we-
premature.
We're not rapping yet.
We're not rapping yet. The
We
rap,
did promise last
For the listeners
podcast.
there,
we did.
We're gonna
Yes,
promise
we
the
did
rap.
promise. The rapping is coming up.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Not for me,
You
just
lovely
for them.
listeners. I saw
No,
this morning in the new allocated seats down at the bloody Wool World, and I thought it was Crapinator.
Take that.
It's such a simple one, but I like it.
Got him.
Nice. Yeah, they have new allocated seatings.
Yeah,
down
really?
At
I didn't
Down at
like that
Woolworths.
at all.
yeah, it was weird.
Because
You love allocated seating, though.
No.
You love allocated seatings.
I think
Jordan is the allocated seating guy.
it is important to honor an allocated seating. I don't like allocated seating. I just think if it's allocated, you have to honor it. Because otherwise you're the dick that probably stole someone else's seat and the whole thing like has a reaction. I'm not necessarily for it. I just think if you have it, you have to honor it.
Fair.
I don't like allocated seating because I went and saw this with my friend Elise, and we paid for our own tickets, but we both got called up by two different people, and they're like, where do you want to sit? And then we had to stop and have like a conference between each other, and then tell the people that were serving us where we wanted to sit.
Just pay
Which
together.
was just annoying. Well,
Just
no,
pay
because I'm
together.
cheap. I saw
Say that
this-
again, sister.
Beat Mr. Cheap.
I saw this film. Fuck, when did I see it? Sunday night. And it genuinely infuriated me. I was actually angry walking out of this. I didn't like it.
Fair enough.
Angus.
I saw this movie 3 days ago, I think. 3 or 4 days ago. It's been quite some time.
Triple time.
Yeah,
I
and
know how you
I
remember
cannot remember the
Yeah.
film, really. I just remember not coming out with anything that I went in with.
Yeah. Well, what?
You lost all.
He lost
my
his
wallet,
skin?
all my
I
clothes.
lost everything. This movie took everything from me.
It kind of does. It
Yeah,
really does.
honestly, I think this movie is exactly the same as the second one. Yeah.
Wait, did you say the same as the second one?
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right, well, I mean, I'll beat you to death after the podcast, but that's fine.
All right, let's get into it.
Extra long podcast this week.
Sweet. Lads, you know how every week I put up on Instagram and ask our Slicey Slicers out there, our lovely audience, let them know what we're reviewing and ask them to review it with us. Because we're a family pod here on the Film Slice Podcast.
You're on the Family Slice podcast?
The Family Slice Podcast, that's what the film is for short. And normally no one replies.
Correct.
Guess what?
No one replied.
No one replied.
Yep, no one replied.
I
even put it up so early.
I know, it's super early.
So
you did such a
early.
good job.
Not even
I
our
was
regulars.
going to reply, old Brody Riches over here. I was going to say this little quip that I thought of. I thought it was pretty interesting. I didn't actually post it, so I thought I'd just say it now.
Okay.
I was going to post. You said you'd be back, but why so many times? And I thought that was a funny little,
good.
little quip at the
played.
whole.
Kane Doug,
What's wrong with you? Why did you say that?
anyone hit you up on Facey? Kane?
Yeah,
on Facey
we
Cakes?
got one. We got Elise, whom I saw the film with, and
Excellent.
she typed, I genuinely can't think of a positive word to say. I was glad when it was finally over. And I tend to agree.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So
that's
out of the 4 people we know have seen the film, Those 4 people, like, comment, are like the ones that commented.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
But what's weird is there's a lot of people commenting, like, reviewing this movie on Facebook, just in some of the circles that, like, I'm in on, because I'm still on Facebook. But, they're weirdly overwhelmingly positive. People were like, this is the real Terminator 3 that we always deserved. And I was like, this is not. No one deserves this.
This is the same dumb shit as Terminator 2, am I right?
No, you're really not. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but not that one.
Now, Broadman, we've had a bit of struggles. I'm struggling to keep up with where you're at because we've ditched Twitter completely now.
Twitter's
Given
gone.
up on that.
Twitter's dead.
It's dead. That's fine.
We smashed
Last week-
SoundCloud for no reason because we're on that one.
It's as dead as Goldilocks in that just right bed. All right, because they're bears. I would have fucking came out and ate it.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
That makes a lot of sense.
last week
I
I
don't know
announced
why
that I'd be switching over to do a bit of SoundCloud action.
Yes.
And as a part of that, to do a wrap on whatever film we're going to do this week, which turned out to be
That's
Terminator Dark
why.
Fate, the shit one. So we have since, yes, Lil D over here and me, Biggie D, have
early again.
put together a little something. It is on SoundCloud
settle
right
your
now.
fucking-
We have a
Calm
SoundCloud.
down.
What's that SoundCloud? Film/Pod?
Yeah, Film Slice Pod.
Yeah,
on
that's our
SoundCloud at
SoundCloud. Our rap is on our SoundCloud right now. And how about we play it for all you lovely listeners?
So this is going to be a pre-recorded...
No, we're going to sing it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool,
Jordan, get on the drums.
Jordan, hit it. Hey guys, sorry to butt in. This is Angus from the Film Slice podcast. Just a little language warning on this one. Very heavy. Mum, Dad, if you're listening, maybe not this one. Or anyone's mum and dad. If you're a mum and dad though, and you condone swearing, that's fine. Thank you.
Come with me if you want to live.
Give me your eyes.
Yeah,
I'm back from the future.
Biggie D!
Yeah, that's right. And little D to fuck you up.
Oh, guess what?
What?
The Terminator is back.
Hell yeah.
Too bad the new movie is a big pile of crap.
This whole franchise is dead. It's just a blast from the past. Thanks to those greedy producers stuffing cash up their ass.
Producers writing the script, thinking about them and they. Too bad they've used the script before into Judgment Day.
They suffer from sequelitis and they're going crazy. No cure except to take him out back and say,
Hasta la vista, baby.
They've gone from practical effects to CGI from the basement. Gone from groundbreaking to fucking complacent.
granted it's not all the same, though there are still some flaws. Instead of a male lead, this movie's run by a whole lot of really great women that are doing great things for the world. And
Equity.
good on them. Not the worst thing about the movie. Terminator's really shit. John doesn't have a dick. This makes me feel sick. This is less than adequate. I'm gonna throw a fit. You know all your fans quit. Your movie's kind of fit. Oh, I'm gonna spit on your grave, motherfucker.
Oh, Biggity. Spitting rhymes at your face. Are you ready? Watch my words make you dumbstruck. My robot dick is what you can suck. Off the two you've had no luck.
No
'Cause
luck.
you are making me wanna chuck. Found your script in the back of a dump truck. I really couldn't give a motherfucking fucky fuck. Yeah, Biggie T.
A Terminator dick face, but with an all-female lead. Except that Arnie's back for some reason, but there's really no need for a T-800 who's meant to be all that, meant to live forever, but he looks wrinkly, old, and fat.
I guess robots do aid in this movie's theory, but speaking of theories, I've got one more query. How the fuck do you think the time travel works? Now the other movies are pointless, you fucking dumb jerks.
So if you've seen this movie first, you don't have to watch the rest. I guess in that sense, this Terminator is the best. Cause now you don't have to sit through this mind-numbing franchise, through the indestructible Terminator that for some reason still dies.
Because really, these movies are just a glorified zombie flick, a relentless force that soon will create the apocalypse. Except there's only one zombie and it's made out of metal. The shit's about as basic as fucking Hansel and Gretel.
A 3-year-old can write the shit, this movie's basic as whack, but we know in 2 years this recycled shit will be back.
Yeah, you fucking cunts. Ooh.
There we go. Yeah, that's
Whoa!
That's the-
Is that going
So
in
we
the
just
podcast?
we just
That
we just
is-
dropped that then.
Holy
Biggie D and Lil D.
on
maybe the greatest thing I've ever heard.
SoundCloud right now.
Yeah, sweet. So I guess that's what our Slicey Slices thought of this week.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there goes the. How
Thanks
long
to-
did that go for?
Thanks for Biggie D and Little D
Yeah.
for writing in to us.
BD.
Sweet. When did you see the movie and what did you think?
When did you see the movie and what did you think?
Hey,
Yeah,
we're musical
geniuses,
geniuses, so
so
this
fuck
could be
yourself.
fun.
We already did. When did you see the movie and what did you think?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
did.
Ah.
Well, let's put that bit in.
Would you recommend it and who'd you recommend it to? We're fucking musical geniuses. Fuck you.
I mean,
K-Dogs.
I feel like I get told to
Would
fuck
you-
off a lot.
K-Dogs, would you
I'm pretty
recommend
sure
it?
it doesn't say that.
Who would you recommend it to?
Look, if you liked Terminator Genesis, then you'll like this one.
Mm-hmm.
But for all the reasons you shouldn't like that one, you should fucking hate this one. I wouldn't recommend it because I also wouldn't recommend Genesis or the past like 3 Terminator films. But if you liked that, then you'll like this.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Jordan, I need your help with
Okay.
who I would recommend it to.
Okay, sure. All right. Maybe to a pile of shit.
There you go.
I mean, well written, Brody.
That's who I would recommend it to.
He just didn't bring his reading glasses.
No,
so,
I couldn't
yeah.
read what I said.
That's fair.
But he put his wrapping glasses.
Who would I recommend? I would recommend this to anyone who doesn't really care a lot about the franchise, like doesn't like fanboy about the franchise, because obviously there's a lot of things in there that kind of render the other ones pointless.
Oh yeah.
But if you're just like an avid moviegoer and you don't really care about the franchise or where it's going and are just looking for something to watch, it's fine. Like there's explosions, there's a kind of story. It's not the worst thing you could see at the
I'll
cinemas.
put this on par with Angel Has Fallen. That, like, it wasn't a good film, but there's going to be some people that's like, nah, it's an
Yeah,
explosion.
it's fine.
There'll be some
It's-
people that just watch that, and I'm like, cool.
It's fine. It's passable. It's not
Like, it doesn't
not
make
the
sense.
worst.
But great.
But also, yeah, if you are a fanboy of Terminator, I probably wouldn't see
But
this.
even if you're not a fanboy of Terminator, like, this is coming from a fanboy of Terminator 1 and 2 only, but even if you don't like the Terminator films, as a film, this movie is fucking horrible. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of whether you like the first 2 Terminator, like, regardless of the things that this does
It's definitely...
to disprove the franchise as it is,
Yeah.
this is still a crap film.
I think it's definitely worse knowing the other Terminators. If
Yeah.
the other Terminators didn't exist, I think this would have been better. But obviously, like, a lot of people are going to be putting it up against the other Terminators, which in general are kind of a lot better. So
Well, at least the first 2 are. I think all the others are more or less kind of
Yeah.
on par for me.
yeah, I mean, I still think it's very much the same as the second one.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the spoilers.
Spoilers!
Sound the alarm.
Oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus.
All right, we're in the spoiler section where we dissect and divulge everything about the film. Look out, we'll turn you into a bloody Terminator. Am I right, guys?
I don't think that's how that works. But
Isn't that how the movie worked?
I mean, yeah, but it shouldn't have been.
All right,
Spoilers.
musical genius Biggie
Oh.
D in the building. All right, first off, cinema dicks. Anyone got a cinema dick?
Cinema dick. Other than the allocated seating, that's a bit random.
Yeah, I had a guy who was just eating a bag of chips, just real, like, as loud as you can. He was just like... And he took like 40 minutes to open the bag. Other than that, no, not really.
Fair enough. I had a cinema saint.
Cinema sign.
One guy that was like maybe three chairs across from me leant down to a person in the front row, in the row in front of him, and just tapped on their shoulder and said, "Sorry, mate, we can see your phone, and it's kind of shining up in our light. Could you just turn that off while we're watching the movie?" Fucking
What a fucking ledge.
right? What a fucking... As soon as I saw him do that, I was like, mate, you
Boom, boom, boom.
are a saint.
I mean, he was found stabbed after the film, but worth it.
It made my experience much better.
Yeah, absolutely it did.
definitely
Fucking
worth it.
salute
Yeah.
to you, son.
Yeah, there you go.
We should find, if you're listening to this and it's you, fucking thanks.
Good
If it's
job.
not you,
Hats
find
off to
the
you.
person,
Even if you're not wearing a hat,
put one on and
Take
take it
off.
off for him.
your head.
Hats off to him or hats off for him?
Both.
Both.
Take
Take
your
your hat
hats
off
and
and
give
give it to him.
Cool. All right, sweet. Let's get into it. Most positive thing about the film.
Positive thing starting with Jordan Lame. Oh,
Yeah,
I had to dig it in.
I had to write mine down just so I could find something positive because I was really struggling.
That's fair.
I
That's
liked
fair.
the first point something seconds of the de-aging. I really liked seeing Linda Hamilton de-aged.
Oh, yeah. And the
Young-
kid.
And the kid,
Young Arnie.
Kid John Connor.
what's this, something Furlong? I should know this.
It's John Connor.
Yeah, I really liked them de-aged. I didn't like where the scene went after that first moment, but I
Yeah.
really liked the de-aging was weirdly solid for a film where the CGI was quite shit from there onwards. Mm-hmm. And that's all I got.
Fair
Cool.
enough.
Only positive.
It was weird coming off the back of Gemini Man, which has the best reconstruction
Right?
and de-aging
Yeah.
that I've ever seen, to go into this, which was like pretty good.
It was standard, but I mean, standard's pretty good nowadays.
I think-
but it's
Yeah.
not Gemini.
I think it was
not
great
Gemini.
because they didn't talk. Like, I reckon if she'd started to talk, then it might have thrown it off a bit.
Yeah,
But because no
yeah.
one talked in that scene, it was just like,
She just kind of yelled.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they didn't have to line anything up with the mannerisms.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that made it easier.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, fair enough. Broadman, most positive thing.
Also
about
known
the
as
film.
Corn Ghetto. Boom. I do not have a favorite part whatsoever. I left it completely blank.
Wow.
I got nothing. I
Yeah.
really have nothing.
I really want to slam straight into the negative.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was racking my brain for ages because this movie goes for 2 hours and 14 minutes. I was
Yeah.
like, there's got to be something there. Couldn't think of
I,
a single bloody
Thing,
thing.
thing.
My positive, I think some of the action scenes were shot really well. I really liked the scene where she just picked up a sledgehammer and just went at him.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty brutal, and I enjoyed that.
I really liked the look of the future, and
Yeah.
that, to me, that's what this film should have been. Should have been all in the future. I fucking love
Yeah.
that future shit. I still like Terminator Salvation. It wasn't the best
I don't
one
mind Terminator
whatsoever.
Salvation.
It goes 2-1 Salvation, then the rest can fuck off.
You know what I like? No, it doesn't. You know what I like about Terminator Salvation? It's the only Terminator movie they've tried to write or tell that isn't about sending a Terminator back from the future to kill
Yeah,
someone. Like,
yeah.
it's the only... Like, this shouldn't be a franchise unless you're willing to tell a different
Other
story.
new stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't be a franchise, really.
And, well, I agree with you. They should have stopped at Terminator 2. They shouldn't have... There's not enough in this to make a franchise. And this movie
Especially if they
proves
do the same thing over and over.
it. Yeah, well, this movie proves that they can't. Like, yeah. Anyway, Angus.
Agreed. Yeah. Yes.
That's positive.
I just said mine. Thanks
Oh,
for
right.
listening.
Cool.
I
Angus.
guess we'll go into the negatives.
Yeah. Blend right on into that.
Sure.
Smoothly.
Slow is smooth.
Come on,
Go on,
Lil D.
go on, diggity.
All right.
Or should we go because we probably have less than you?
Yeah, look, I've got a list of them that I'll try to run through quick, but you guys can go first, and maybe that'll knock some of mine out.
All right.
Do you want to take a little D?
Yeah, I might take it. I think the worst thing about this film was just that it was rehashing the second one. There wasn't a lot of new plot points.
There was none.
You could literally change the names and genders of a few characters, and it would be exactly the same.
It'd be
as the
Terminator
second
2,
one.
but
So
worse.
It was
Well,
just
it'd be worse, but
Yeah,
it'd
it's
be-
just kind of rinse, wash, and repeat, or whatever it is.
But without
and
the washing.
Without the washing.
Pretty.
I really couldn't care less about all the characters. So that's what I've written down. I've also got, I think that this film was so over-millennialized in the terms of just everyone's just fucking complaining all the fucking time. Every single character. There is no character which is just kind of cool, calm, and collected. Even Arnie felt a little bit complainy to me. He was like, I grew up, I had memories.
Even the
now.
Terminator was like, oh man, I feel
I
so
now have
depressed.
kids,
Like,
and-
what am I
Yeah.
meant to do with my life? You're a Terminator.
Yeah, and the Terminator at the end was like, you don't. Why do you care about her? Just let her come with me. Come on, Terminator dick face. Yeah, so I just felt like every single character was just complaining about something.
That's so true. Yeah,
And it just made me hate the characters even more so than I already did. And I was just like, there's no cool character in this film.
Because I guess like the second one mostly, it's kind of that attitude of nut up or shut up. Like, we
Yeah.
gotta do this.
Yeah.
Let's get
Yeah,
down to business.
Sarah Connor is kind of like a fucking beast in the second one.
Well, the great-
John Connor is like, let's do this shit. He has his
Yeah.
like own motorbike and he's
Yeah.
actually like a creative kid. And then Arnie's in there as well and he's just like, come with me if you want to live. Yeah, and, and he's just like fucking blasting people
Yeah.
away. And there's no one complaining about a single fucking thing in the second one.
Yeah.
In the second one, what becomes great, and it's just a little tidbit for people that hadn't noticed, but if you watch it, is within Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger as a Terminator slowly becomes more... he gets a bit more humanity as he starts to really care about his mission, and Sarah Connor becomes far more like a Terminator by the end, to the point where they almost swap roles in the film, which is fucking awesome. Like, Sarah Connor becomes the Terminator at the end.
one-handed
it's
pump.
wicked.
It's awesome. Not that kind of. Okay, let's get off the subject.
Okay. Would you like my biggest negatives?
Go for it, K-Dogs.
My
Whip 'em
first
out.
one, this is from a T2 fanboy perspective, and most people who like T2 will
Jordan
agree.
fucking loves tea bags, telling you
Yeah.
that much. T2, his
Peppermint.
favorite store in the
My
city.
favourite
Melbourne
Man.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Guava, there's probably one of them.
Yep.
Not a
Chai.
tea man.
Wet chai.
I love wet chai.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway,
If you just
tea.
watched Terminator 2, which I did last week,
with a cup of tea.
Instead of watching Gemini Man, where
Yep.
we all remember.
Yep. And you spent the entire film really like hoping that Sarah Connor and John Connor make it through that whole ordeal so they can live on. And then you watch this film and they immediately die. You're gonna be fucking pissed, which I fucking was. I was really annoyed that it was like, hey, oh, cool, like young Sarah Connor, young John Connor. That's great. We get to see them because this movie starts with the year like
1997, I think.
97, which is meant to be, it's like 1 year after the apocalypse was meant to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, they totally did it. They dodged it. I can't wait to now see another story completely relevant from them, and maybe Sarah Connor, because I knew she was going to be in it, was going to have to leave him to help or something. But nope, they just killed them, and I was like, well, what was the fucking point of Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Like, yes, it was about them stopping Judgment Day, but you also get invested in the characters. You want them to live, not just to survive that moment. But the whole point is so that they live and have a life.
And
so
the-
killing them there...
yeah.
And
And
then,
the whole premise of this film is it's going to happen anyway, really.
Yeah,
Like,
well, so
there's
the-
just going to be another Skynet.
Well, here's the thing. Once they killed him, I was annoyed, but I was like, look, if they can justify that decision, I'm okay with it. Like, a big move, you're gonna need to do something. I know Sarah Connor's still in it. I'm not saying bring John Connor back to life in any way. That'd be fucking horrible. But give us a reason for his death.
Yeah.
And then instead they just brought in a new character, which was just less developed. And they're like, now this is John Connor. Why
Oh,
bother?
but no, she wasn't until the very end when it wasn't her child that saved.
Yeah, but we
it
already knew
was
that.
her.
Did anybody care?
Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the fact that they killed him just to replace him with a less developed character was really pointless to me, and that made the whole movie seem really dumb.
Also, I don't know, like, I probably haven't paid attention to all of the other Terminator films. I don't think I've actually watched.
Well,
I've only
in
watched
this
like
one-
1 and 2, and then
Well,
this one.
this one they made all of
I
the non-canonical.
unfortunately have seen them all.
Yeah, me too. But this one they made
I've
all
also
of.
seen most of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show as well.
I watched a bit of that. It's fine. There's some things that are okay in it.
Yeah.
This decided to make after Terminator 2 everything is non-canon, which is really dumb because they then just did all the same mistakes. So like, oh, get rid of Terminator 3, that was too bad. Get rid of Salvation, that made too many mistakes. Get rid of Genesis, we're going to do the real Terminator 3 that people deserve. And then they just went and made all the mistakes that those other 3 films made. Anyway,
All in
which
one.
is,
Little John never grows up into Christian Bale.
well, they made...
Yeah. What?
Well, the problem, like, for instance, one of the worst things about Terminator 3 is they made Arnold Schwarzenegger too much of a comic relief to the point where you couldn't take him seriously as a Terminator. And the point of the Terminator franchise is for those things to seem unstoppable
Menacing,
and
yeah.
menacing, yeah. And so they were like, well, we're not doing Terminator 3. Everybody laughed at that. But we will make him in this the comic relief again. So this time he installs drapes. And I was like, fucking why?
How unintimidating was the villain Terminator in this
Yeah.
film? Who is, I'm pretty sure, is the same actor who plays
Ghost Rider in
Ghost
Agents of
Rider
S.H.I.E.L.D.
in like
And he's
a
good as
Marvel
Ghost
TV show.
Rider.
He's a good Ghost Rider, and he's actually quite a charismatic actor.
Yeah.
And he's very good looking.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of those things where like, why the fuck is he the bad guy?
What are the odds
Yeah.
of him being
You know?
Hispanic and also learning in Mexico? Like,
It was.
good on that for working out.
It was just a bit weird because he's just kind of like this average build, kind of good looking, charismatic guy.
I was
and it's
okay with that.
if but he doesn't
But
have
he
a
had
personality.
to be. I was okay with that as long as they found a way to make him intimidating,
Yep,
like they did with
that's
the
the
T-1000 in Terminator 2. So the T-1000 in Terminator 2 isn't. It's like Robert Patrick. He's not a big dude.
Hmm.
He's even polite to people when he talks to them because it, like, you can argue that makes him a more effective infiltrator as
Yeah.
a killing machine. But you need to make him intimidating with his actions and not have him be really fucking dumb like this Terminator is.
Man, I would have just fucking loved Ronda Rousey. Fucking
That would have been
coming in, fucking kicking
That
ass.
would have been awesome.
I
So-
think she would have like been a perfect fit for a fucking
Yeah,
Terminator
true.
in this film.
Leads into my next negative, which is that the bad guy is dumb as dog shit.
Yeah.
Because he would be a very effective killer with all of the things that he can do if he ever remembered that he could do any of it. So it starts with him, like, cloning the dad and then going to the people that he's trying to kill their workplace as the dad. But then he changes back at, like,
Yeah.
20 meters from them. As if you wouldn't just walk up to them and start.
yeah.
Every time he was camouflaged as someone else, He just walked into the building camouflaged and immediately revealed himself. So everyone was like, oh, there he is. We should probably run. Whereas it would have been far more intimidating if you had to have the good guys be really careful. Instead of just being like, well, if you see him, run. It should have been like, you're not anybody could be the Terminator. You're going to need to figure that out because anyone could be the Terminator. And not just anyone, but there's fucking 2 of them. So not only could anyone be the Terminator, but there could also just be another Terminator around.
See, was that I was half expecting for Sarah Connor to be
Any of-
killed,
it would have been-
and then like
yeah.
the Terminator becomes Sarah Connor, or same with like Arnie with the T800.
Any
like,
of them, it would have been
it would
great
have been-
if any of them decided to...
Yeah,
and then
like
there's
such a
just-
close call. Kind
There's
of
so
thing.
many things where he just doesn't do something for the sake of plot.
Yeah.
So there's a part where he has a drone flying over the top of them, and he knows it's them. And then he changes his voice over the radio to get them arrested by Border Patrol. And then once they're arrested, he decides to crash the drone. Why not crash the drone immediate? Why did he need them to be arrested? What difference would that have made? The only reason they did that is so they could have them go to that fucking center that they get locked up in so they can have another action sequence. But you need to be able to write a bad guy that isn't dumb in order for him to be intimidating.
Yeah.
He can be small, he can be polite, but his actions need to come across as concise and intelligent for him to be intimidating. And he was just dumb at every turn.
Speaking of dumb bad guys, I feel
Yeah.
like the whole
Sorry. I thought you were just going to go, speaking of dumb, Jordan.
Yeah, I know. I was ready
dumb.
for
Ready
it.
for this as well?
I mean, my self-esteem is fucked at this point, but at this point, I'm expecting it to.
Speaking of dumb bad guys, the machines in the future where we fast forward to that says like they're hunting us and they're looking for us and everything. They're not doing a good job.
No, they're
like they
fucking
should have fucking infrared. They should have heat seeking, all this kind of shit to find these human stragglers that literally have nothing besides the clothes on their back, and they're just kind of going through half broken down buildings.
Yeah.
Probably very easy to see. But no, right at the end when, she gives the command and everyone comes out from their hiding place, like how dumb are these machines?
Also, it makes... Sorry, Brody, I know you're about to talk.
I was going to say, Jordan, what did you think about the tentacle nators from the future?
Look, I'm sort of okay with it because one of the problems that I have is it's like Skynet doesn't exist, that didn't happen. Legion, which is a completely different thing, happened. And I'm okay with them sort of making the point that humans destroying themselves with AI is sort of inevitable.
Legion is such a bad name.
It's a point that I'm okay with them making, me like, yeah, you stopped Judgment Day because you stopped Skynet, but there's always going to be a Judgment Day. I'm okay with them sort of playing that, but then being like, and that Legion is going to it's going to do exactly the same thing. It's not even slightly different. The only difference we had was those tentacle fucking Terminator things. So
Tentacle nators.
yeah, as shit as they were,
Tentacle
I'm
nators.
okay with it just because at least it's a difference. But also, why not just send one of
really
those
don't.
back?
I don't like it in the kind of same context that I don't like zombies that run.
Yeah, it makes them too difficult.
It makes them too difficult to the point where you're just like, well, no human would be able to survive.
Why bother? Yeah.
So like that was the thing. There's these Terminators that have the kind of liquid Terminator on the outside, and they basically just use that liquid to create giant tentacles so they can kill like 7 humans at once.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where it's just like, well, we have no fucking chance then.
How about just all the random plot points that don't make sense? So, for instance, they bring Sarah Connor along, and the argument that she makes is like, you don't understand how phones work. You don't understand anything about our society. You need me. And then the next scene, they're in the car, and the hero is like, give me your phone, I'm going to do some future shit to it. It's like,
Grace.
it's like, okay, well, you know about phones then. Why'd you bring
Also,
Sarah? Her whole argument was-
Grace grew up probably with a phone, being a kid living
Yeah,
in the
it makes a lot of sense.
in 2019.
Also, I thought she was sent back from like the year 2040 something. So, how come she's only like 20 in this?
I'm not sure about the numbers on that.
I'm pretty sure it
She
was like
25.
Yeah, but she should have, like, she looks about, what,
Well,
13
but
when they found her,
She
so...
was enhanced. So she
So they
might...
stopped her aging?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
probably.
used all the tech from Gemini Man.
Yeah.
Still aging
Yeah.
in the future.
But,
Fucking great movie, man. You should see it.
and then there's another point where Sarah Connor they all need, like, the EMP device, and anytime anyone's like, what's an EMP? And someone goes, it's electromagnetic pulse. It's
like, we know.
I hate that, but here's the thing. If you don't know, those sets of words don't explain it.
No.
If it's like, why'd you put that in the middle? Well, what if they don't know what an EMP is? If you're like, oh, okay. We'll say electromagnetic pulse. If you don't know what an EMP is,
Say
you
it's-
still don't know what that means.
It's a bomb for computers.
But it's really annoying because there's very rarely a film. All I want is a scene where someone goes, oh, it's an EMP. And someone goes, okay, cool. That's it. I
Well, no, it's
want a
like,
small
it's an EMP.
pause.
What's that? Electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah, what's that? Like, that's what that should
Turns
be.
to the
Yeah.
camera. Turns to the camera. What's that?
What's that?
And then Bill Nye the Science Guy comes
Yeah.
out. Okay, so an electromagnetic
The
pulse.
film stops. He comes out on stage to the crowd.
the fourth wall.
There's a moment where they
Electromagnetic
need
pulse.
an EMP, and Sarah Connor's like, "Oh yeah, I've just got this
What's
guy who's like in the military. He's willing to commit treason." It's like, okay, what was with all that shit trying to cross the border then?
Yeah.
he's willing to just be like, "Here's a plane."
Was he a reference from an earlier film?
No, and
I
they
thought-
don't explain.
Didn't John Connor have like a friend in Terminator 2 or something like that?
He had a kid, but nothing came from it.
Okay.
And she has like one friend that we see, but that nothing comes. But it's just like, oh yeah, here's a friend. Okay, well, apparently it's fucking hard for you to travel state to state, but you've got this friend in the military.
yeah.
It's like, hey, so a couple of fugitives, Sarah Connor, she's really well known in like 50 states. They're just gonna take a plane.
That's yeah.
If you guys could just let them do that. No, I don't feel like I need to tell you. If you just let them take that plane, that'll be cool. And then
Will
they
we get the
there.
plane back? Yeah, sure.
she's
5
a
minutes
bit-
later,
Yeah, like she's a bit.
the guy's on the ground. Oh, fuck.
Do I have time for
Lost
one
my
more
job.
negative?
Go for it.
Sure thing.
All right. Another negative is if for these films to work, it needs to be kind of, you're going to laugh, but it needs to be kind of based in reality with the physics outside of the Terminator. So the Terminator is only intimidating if the rest of the world's physics makes sense. If people can be injured and killed really easily, like in real life, then a Terminator is intimidating. But if someone can, say, survive in a car that falls down a waterfallish cliff and then rolls underwater
dam.
for 30 minutes and then...
Then turns into a submarine for some reason.
and then they're not fucking shredded in the car, then they can survive a Terminator. Doesn't matter. Like, if they can survive endless explosions and all of that shit, then it doesn't matter. In Terminator 2, every time someone gets injured, especially Sarah Connor, she's like limping, she's barely standing.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, they come out of like a car accident that everybody should die in unscathed. And like little things like that just make everything pointless. If you know everyone's going to survive all the time, then you never feel that fear of the Terminator catching up to them. You're just like, oh, well, eventually the Terminator will catch them. They'll say kill box as if it means a thing. And then they'll punch them until someone dies.
Cool. All right. Next week, Cane Dogs. What are we reviewing?
What's it called? Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
Oh, the
Dr.
Shining
Sleep?
Sleep
Yeah, the
sequel?
Shining
Yeah,
movie.
Dr. Sleep. Yeah.
Very good.
You,
okay.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. It'll be good.
Very good. Okay. The
Fucking
Shining,
Obi-Wan
the Shining
Kenobi.
Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
The Shining Doctor.
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Shining.
Dr. Sleep.
All right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi fights Jack Nicholson.
Sweet.
Obi-Wan Kenobi fights sleep.
All right.
Use the
Tune in next week for that. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you for listening to the Film Slice podcast. If you liked that, we've got, more. And we're doing one next week and every other week until at least one of us quits. So, look forward to that next week. Anyway, thank you, bye. We appreciate it.
One of us could also die.
Yeah, I mean, that Angus could die. Anyway, see you next week.
I already quit.
Bye.
Instagram, iTunes, SoundCloud, our wraps up on SoundCloud.
Yeah.